these things inside and out. So it's like, how can you kind of do something that is a little off or a little different? So what we try to do is kind of defy expectations of things. Like, you know that, oh, well, shooter shot me in the head, well, then you kill him. Well, what if you kind of subvert that a little bit? What if you do a little bit? So the key is that they come in on the waves and it becomes kind of like an old school 1980s Lucio Fulci zombie movie. It's actually, we did a lot of practical gore, and it has that sense of fun that we have with Sharknado. So we really did a lot of stuff that just has that kind of energy. And we had a great cast, and Ian, of course, we've worked together on 6 other films, so we have a shorthand. And so he plays Finn was the family guy. Hunter Shaw, who he plays in this, he's a little more, a little edgier. There's a little more of an edge to him. So I think that makes him kind of different as well. But they're fun. They're different zombies. Once they come to shore, if you get infected, we have what we call our water zombies, and then we have the infected. And yeah, it was fun. I've been a long time zombie fan, and I've never found anything quite interesting enough to do until this. And we just had a blast. And the effects team was incredible.
Now I'm curious, would you say for lack of a better word, camp tone is similar than Sharknado, or is it more serious, more restrained, and do you have a lot of the like celebrities and the quirky music mixed in, or how would you?
Well, we do a lot of the music, so there's always be the music in there. So there's some songs that we did specifically for it. There's no celebrity cameos, but in terms of, I think it's more tonally similar to the first Sharknado in that as we went along, we got more and more ridiculous. This is kind of more grounded, but it's still crazy and silly like what we normally do. So, but it's more on that grounded thing, because the Sharknado was the first one. You had to kind of set up the rules and all that stuff, and then you could do whatever you want after that. Here, we needed to do the same thing, set up the rules, and then kind of have to play it a little straight. But I think the other thing too is, one of the things we've always strived with, even with the Sharknadoes, is, to me, like, a lot of the over-the-top movies, everybody on screen is in on a joke, and the audience is, and it's all like a Rocky Horror Picture Show. Here, our characters are always generally grounded. It's just that everything around them is ridiculous. That's how I kind of always describe it. And unless you're designated as comic relief, then we don't try to break that wall at all.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
The long run said that you guys took a lot of inspiration from 80s action movies.
Yes.
Were there any specific movies that you guys were watching where you're like, okay, this is something that we need to look at?
Yeah. So we knew we were shooting. Okay. So these aren't huge budget movies, but we know we're going to have limitations. We're shooting in Thailand. We're going to be shooting primarily a lot in the daytime. So a lot of those Fulci movies were shot in the day. So I watched a lot of Lucio Fulci. Then I think it's 1979-80 Zombie that he did. There's another film I watched. It was called Dr. Butcher MD, and there's this really great scene in that movie where someone takes a rowboat motor and kills a zombie, and well, we got to do something. We got to update that. So we took a little inspiration from that. There's a little Romero in there. Definitely how you group people together, and there's some conflict, and how do you resolve that. So I think there's a lot of nods. There's a couple Easter eggs that if you are diehard horror fans, I always try to put Easter eggs in these movies. If you watch any of the Sharknadoes, they're buried. Some of them are for an audience of 2, and some of them are just very blatant. But if you look closely on his boat, Ian's boat is Hunter Shaw's character. There's a lot of stickers from different places that he sort of went to. You'll see some familiar things in there. Okay. So yeah, we always try to do that. The thing is that I'm a geek and I love these movies. So you always try to go into this like, how can we have fun and how can we kind of just skew it a little bit and try to do our own thing. Sometimes we'll succeed, sometimes we won't. But it's just, I think why Sharknado was successful is that we were having fun and we were taking ourselves seriously. And I think that's why we had that audience that followed us for 6 years. And that's what we wanted to try to do with the zombie. We're never going to be Walking Dead. We're never going to be Zombie Land. We're never going to be any of those things. We're just going to be what we are. And if people respond to it, that'd be great. We'd love to do more of these.
So how would you rather go, Sharknado or Zombie Tidal Wave?
I think we did 6 Sharknado movies.
No, I mean, like, how would you rather die?
Oh, die. Well, I think it would be quicker with a shark, so I'd have to say shark because the thing is you would come back as a zombie, and I don't think I'd want to come back. I wouldn't want to die and then have to turn around and have to have my head blown off again. Yeah, so that literally you're dying twice. So that's kind of like, yeah, I'll take the shark because at least you know it's pretty permanent.
No. Oh, sorry.
Unless it's a zombie show.
Did you? I had a question about you mentioned the gore in the film, which obviously you can't have a zombie film without gore. Now, some of the early or sci-fi channel films, they had the version that you got on the DVD and the version that they could get away with airing. Does that? How does that evolve, and does that complicate how you shoot, knowing this is never going to make it to air, but I can get it on the DVD?
That's a great question because when we were shooting the movie, I basically told everybody, we're going to just shoot gore. We're just going to shoot as much as possible, and then if they come back and go, you can't have it, you can't have it, because it's better to shoot more than to have to go, oh, I wish we had more. And I wanted to do as much of it as practical as possible, so I think it's 95% practical gore as opposed to digital. There's a few instances where we had to do it. And so I kind of followed what they did in the 80s with the MPAA. We basically stacked the deck in the cut. It just went over the top with blood. Because I go, okay, well, standards and practices are going to come back and they're going to go trim. We submit it, and they're like, oh, this is fine. Like, well, wait a second. We just blew out the back of somebody. And so we actually self-censored ourselves. Because we put more in, like, you know, because you start seeing the gore, like, you know, when it comes out of the tube and stuff, it goes like this, and it kind of spurts a little. It's like we just kept it going, so we kind of pared back a little bit. We only pared back by like 2%, but we stacked the deck, and surprisingly, they were fine with it. It's actually really kind of gory for it.
Wonderful.
Speaking about older sci-fi movies, a lot of the older sci-fi original movies have had crossovers.
Yeah.
Where we've had giant squirrel versus mega anaconda.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So would we ever possibly see Sharknado versus Zombie Tidal Wave?
I don't know if it's possible because it's two different companies. There are different companies that do them, so I think that might be. But I think the thing is that they're their own things. You know, you got to kind of like. There was a lot of talk when we were developing the story and the script. And, you know, one of the earlier drafts, someone put in something like reference to shark, and we were like, you know what? Let's just keep it its own thing. I mean, I know that wink is kind of cool and fun, but it also would kind of literally take everybody out of the film. So I think it kind of has to exist in its own thing. You know, I think it gets overtly complicated. The other rule for these movies is usually you like go pick one. Like if you're gonna like do like a monster movie, unless it's a team up, you go, okay, hey, we're gonna do this movie about vampires, and then okay, great, it's a vampire movie, and then this werewolf shows up for no reason. It's like you gotta focus on one, and if you build out the world, you can do more. But I think they're two different things. I think you get one. You know, our thing is Zombie Tidal Wave and Sharknado. I don't think you never really want to cross-pollinate. I know Asylum did that with like Mega Shark versus Raging Gator or whatever it was, and that worked for that. But I think we're trying to carve out our own little things. I mean, they have our sensibilities and our style, but they're their own universe.
So we're going to do the last question if you guys have one, and then we're going to...
You have one?
Cool.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Just as sort of a small thing, I always use the C initial. Sometimes people leave it out.
Oh, no problem.
But it's Anthony C. Ferrante. So
Okay.
yeah, it's just a weird little pet name.